What's up, guys? I know this isn't how I usually start my videos, but I just kind of had this blue shark from Matchbox sitting around for a long time now. It was one of the first pieces I ever found when I first started doing custom restorations, and just finally got a bunch of really good ideas for it. As you can see, the way I found it, it's missing the driver, the windshield, the motor's pretty jammed up. So I kind of jumped into starting it before doing any video once the ideas popped into my head, and this is where I'm at with it. So I went ahead and fabricated a little windshield for it out of some Matchbox blister pack. Just cut a good chunk out of it, and then took a piece of paper and formed it up inside the area of the windshield and traced the lines, and then taped down the piece of plastic to it and just made the cuts where it was necessary. And then you see here I've stolen the driver out of this Night Dragon. I got that car with a bunch of other cars when I bought a Hot Wheels Ultimate Garage. I knew I'd get something out of it one day, so that's pretty cool. But either way, that's where I'm at with it right now. I wanted to share a little bit of it with you guys before I get too far into it, so you can kind of see the progress as it happens. So that's it for now. We'll be back with some more. Okay, so here I just want to show you guys some more of the progress, where I'm at with it now. You can see I've got the driver fitted in there pretty good. Earlier I showed you guys this little fabricated piece of windshield here that I was going to use, which I was happy with. It fit up in there really good and looked pretty good. But after looking at some more pictures, I remembered that the windshield wrapped around the driver like this. So I decided to go ahead and make another windshield using the same process. Just cut up some blister pack, formed it in there, and made the cuts where it was necessary. It's a pretty good clear piece of blister pack, so it's kind of hard to see it right now. And then with the engine, we're gonna go ahead and re-chrome that. The wheels need some attention. They're gonna need some re-chroming. And you can see back here behind the driver, I've got like a little piece of cardboard in there for now. I typically like to cut everything down to size on a piece of little cardboard or something like that before I switch over to the styrene to make sure my piece is exactly the size I need it. So I'll be replacing that cardboard with a piece of styrene, and basically it is just covering up a gap back there because, you know, as you can see, this driver doesn't sit as far back as the original driver did. The original driver was a little bit more laid down in the seat, and he actually had a steering wheel, but I decided not to go with a steering wheel on this one because this particular driver, you can kind of see he's operating like joysticks, which makes sense because he came out of that fantasy car I showed you earlier. So I just decided, you know, since this is a custom, that's how he's going to operate this one from now on. Decided I'm not going to go back with the the pipe sticking out from underneath the engine, simply because it's missing one of them. And I tried to fabricate a little piece for that, but it was just really tough. There's nothing to really glue it to over there, so personally I don't really like those pipes hanging out of the car anyway. So it kind of works out for me. I'm going to, haven't decided if I'm going to, I know I'm going to paint the driver white, and then I may or may not put some detail on him. We'll see what it looks like after I get him primed up, and it's kind of hard to see the detail on all that gold chrome. So that's where I'm at with it right now. I guess next you guys will see the end product. Alright, I'll be back. So this is where I ended up with the Blue Shark. This is a Matchbox casting, part of the Superfast series 1 through 75, released in 1971. This was one of the first pieces I found when I first started doing custom restorations, and I could never find any of the replacement parts for it, so it just kind of sat around because I wasn't sure which direction to go with it. You know, it's one thing to have the parts and another to fabricate and come up with ideas when you've never done it before. So either way, it sat around for quite some time, and just kind of got the ideas as I mentioned earlier and went crazy with it. I figured, what harm could I do to it? Either way, so yeah, cleaned up the wheels, did some metallic silver on them, hit them with a little bit of black wash to revive them a little bit. Went with a metallic blue on this one. As you can see, this metallic pops really well on video. I think the metal flake is just a lot larger in this compared to a lot of the other ones I usually use. And same thing with the engine, metallic silver. And then you could see I did go ahead and add a couple exhaust pipes to the back of it. I had it all put together and was ready to put the video together, and it was just missing something back there, and of course it was that exhaust. And you know, I mentioned I don't like all those pipes hanging out of there, so I just threw 2 on there, and I think it looks really good, especially with the kind of fits the contrast with the gold and the silver that I got going on. Even though they're brass, I used the I think it's the 1/16 brass tubing that we usually use to do the axles. I've used them before as exhaust pipes, and they look pretty good. They've already got the centers drilled out, and you can bend them. But then you've got the windshield. I mentioned earlier, talked a little bit about that. I think you'll all agree with me, is it used to be a piece of Matchbox blister pack. I think it looks pretty good once the car is now put all back together and popping with the paint. And as you can see, I went ahead and detailed the driver, painted his seat black, gave him a metallic suit with a metallic gold helmet and gloves. Painted his boots black, but they're down inside the car, you can't see them. And then you can see the mirrors I did in metallic silver to give that reflection look. And then on the back there, where I showed you guys that little piece of cardboard sitting behind the seat, I did go ahead and replace that with like a thin piece of it wasn't styrene, it was just some plastic that I had that I've used for some other projects. But either way, it was real thin, and it looked a lot better than the thick piece of styrene I had originally picked out for it. And then you can see I kind of made it into like a rally seat type situation going on back there. It just looked kind of plain, so I wanted to just do as much as I could and put as much effort into it as I could, make it look as nice as possible. So spinning around the back here, you'll see I detailed the tail lights and the parachute. Personally, I think it turned out really great. I'm glad I finally got some ideas for it and got it sitting in the collection now versus on the workbench. And then spin back around on that quarter panel there on the back, you'll see my logo. You guys know I like to throw a logo on there when possible. It's kind of hard to see on these darker cars. They're clear backing, so they're made for the lighter colored cars. You guys know that. But I like it on this one anyway because it's nice and subtle back there. It doesn't take away from the paint job or anything else. Other than that, I think that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like what I've done to this. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.